You would? Wonderful. This is the story of Hanukkah. The Hanukkah story begins in Israel a long time ago when it was called Judea. At that time, the Jews who lived there were farmers and shepherds. On holidays, they all went to the beautiful temple in Jerusalem. The temple was on top of a mountain and called the House of God. Its gates were covered with gold and silver. Inside was a ner tamid, a light that always burned. For a long time, the Jews lived in peace, although they did not rule their land. Then a Greek, Antiochus IV, became king. He tore down the walls of Jerusalem. He forced everyone to only celebrate and worship Greek idols. But the Jews were proud people, and they fought back against King Antiochus. A man named Judah became their leader. Judah was called the Maccabee, which means the hammer. The people who fought with him were called Maccabees. The king's armies came with bows, arrows, swords, horses, and even armored elephants. But they weren't able to beat the Maccabees. In the final battle, there were more than 6 armed soldiers to each Maccabee, but still the mighty army of Antiochus was beaten. Judah then led the Maccabees to Jerusalem. The Maccabees cried when they saw their temple ruined and filled with garbage. But they cleaned it. They built a new altar, new gates, and new doors. Once the rebuilt temple was complete, the Jews wanted to rededicate it by lighting the ner tamid. But when it came time to light it, they found just one small jar of pure oil, only enough to burn for one day. But that oil burned for 8 whole days until more oil could be prepared. It was truly a miracle. On the 25th day of the Hebrew month of Kislev, the temple again became the house of God. Judah declared that every year on that date, an 8-day holiday would begin. The holiday was called Hanukkah, that's right, which means dedication. It celebrates the day the temple was rededicated, and that was more than 2,000 years ago. But today, all over the world, Jews celebrate Hanukkah by lighting candles, singing Hanukkah songs, and eating latkes, potato pancakes, and sufganiyot, jelly donuts. Latkes and sufganiyot are prepared in oil to remind the Jews of the Hanukkah miracle of oil. The end. That story ends with one of my favorite Hanukkah traditions, the food. It's so delicious. My favorite is latkes with applesauce. You should try it if you haven't had it. But after dinner, the celebration continues. Some families give gifts to one another, one for each of the 8 nights of Hanukkah. And then we get to play games. We actually have one particular game, uses a spinning top. Does anybody know what it's called? Dreidel, that's right. Dreidel has 4 sides with 4 Hebrew letters, Nun, Gimel, Hey, and Shin, which stands for the Hebrew phrase, Nes Gadol Haya Sham. A great miracle happened there, talking about the miracle of Hanukkah. You have a question? Nes Gadol Haya Po, meaning a great miracle happened here, because in Israel, it was there. In fact, I have a really good story about my friend Elmo, who learns how to play the dreidel, which I'd be happy to read to you after we light the Hanukkah, okay? But, spoiler alert, at the end, Elmo wins all of the chocolate coins, which we call gelt, and they are super delicious. It's always a fun time to play games with family, right? Well, good food, singing songs, telling stories. Hanukkah truly is a fun, wonderful celebration for the whole family. But it is a little bit past sunset, wouldn't you agree? So I think it's time to get this Hanukkah celebration started. What do you think? Yes! Wonderful. Well, I'm going to sing the prayers, we'll light the menorah, and then we can sing some Hanukkah songs together, okay? Wonderful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'habeker shel Hanukkah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ve'asa nisim avoteinu vayamim ha'el v'azman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו בזמן הזה. Let's see.
Yay! I'm so first. Oh, I like two. Oh no, how did I do that? Hold on, technical difficulty. Bear with me. One. Oh, there it is. Very good. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. Thank you so much for celebrating.